The backrooms have become a popular subject of internet horror for their ability to tap into deep, primal fears. They represent an eerie, liminal space, one that feels familiar yet disturbingly wrong, as though you've slipped through a crack in reality and found yourself in a place you were never meant to be. The unsettling nature of the backrooms lies in their simplicity: endless, monotonous corridors, humming fluorescent lights, and a complete lack of purpose. Despite the mundane setting, they evoke a sense of dread and existential horror that grips people's imaginations. But what is it that makes this concept so uniquely terrifying? Let's explore the reasons why the backrooms evoke such fear, and why this simple but eerie concept has taken root so powerfully in modern horror culture. Reason number 1: uncanny and liminal space. The backrooms are often described as an unsettling blend of spaces that seem familiar but are fundamentally wrong. Liminal spaces, in general, are unsettling because they sit between two states, like an empty hallway or a deserted shopping mall. The backrooms, with their outdated yellow wallpaper, flickering fluorescent lights, and damp carpets, resemble a neglected office building or a rundown hotel. However, this familiarity is distorted by the sheer endlessness and emptiness, making it an environment that feels almost normal, but slightly off in a way that the brain can't fully process. This slight distortion triggers feelings of discomfort and eeriness. Psychologists suggest that humans are wired to recognize patterns and environments that should make sense. When these environments are almost familiar but have a subtle wrongness, it can spark a deep sense of unease. The backrooms play with this exact feeling by giving you an environment that feels strangely familiar but in an uncanny and uncomfortable way. Reason number 2: overwhelming isolation. The backrooms tap into one of humanity's primal fears: being lost and utterly alone. The endless corridors that loop and repeat, offering no signs of escape or any human presence, create an overwhelming sense of loneliness. When you're in a space that seems to have no purpose and no way out, it amplifies feelings of abandonment and hopelessness. This kind of extreme isolation makes you question whether you'll ever be found. There's no sense of time, no natural light, and no way to communicate with the outside world. The psychological weight of being trapped in a monotonous, repeating environment can feel like you're on the edge of sanity. You are left wondering if you're the last person in the universe, abandoned in a cold, uncaring maze. Reason number 3: the fear of the infinite and inescapable. The backrooms are said to stretch infinitely, with room after room, hallway after hallway, and no clear exit. This infinite nature triggers existential fears. Being stuck in an environment where every turn looks exactly like the last, with no hope of finding an escape, can create a sense of never-ending dread. The idea that you could be wandering for eternity, trapped in a loop with no end, is deeply horrifying. This is a fear of the unknown taken to its extreme. What if there is no way out? What if you are doomed to roam these endless corridors forever, with no help, no conclusion, no understanding of why you're there? It's a terrifying vision of helplessness, where you're not just lost in a physical space, but in time itself. Reason number 4: unseen threats and unknown entities. Some versions of the backrooms include the idea of lurking entities, creatures, or presences that you can't quite see but can sense. This creates a fear of the unknown, where you're constantly looking over your shoulder, not sure whether you're alone or being watched. These unseen threats prey on our deep-rooted fear of being hunted or attacked by something we can't fight or understand. Whether these entities are real or imagined, the very idea that they might exist amplifies the fear of the environment. You never know if you're truly alone or if something else is stalking you through the seemingly endless maze. This uncertainty adds to the paranoia and anxiety that the backrooms evoke. Reason number 5: psychological breakdown. As you spend more time in the backrooms, the monotony and isolation would likely begin to play tricks on your mind. The endless repetition of rooms and hallways, combined with the eerie silence and the droning hum of the fluorescent lights, would erode your sense of time, reality, and even self. The backrooms are a perfect setting for psychological horror because they would wear you down mentally, driving you toward madness as you struggle to make sense of your environment. This sense of disorientation, where you begin to question your own perception of reality, is a key aspect of what makes the backrooms so terrifying. In horror, the scariest monsters are often the ones that exist within your own mind: the fear of losing yourself to the environment, the fear of being driven insane by isolation, and the fear of never being able to trust your own senses again. Reason number 6, existential horror and the breakdown of reality. The concept of the backrooms taps into a deeper fear, the breakdown of reality itself. In the lore, people knock out of the real world and end up in the backrooms. This means they've somehow glitched out of reality as we know it, much like how a character in a video game can clip through the walls and end up in a place that shouldn't exist. This idea is deeply unsettling because it suggests that reality is fragile and that at any moment you could slip through the cracks into a place where the rules of the universe no longer apply. The backrooms represent a place where nothing makes sense, where time and space are meaningless, and where you're left questioning the very nature of existence. The fear of being in a place that feels completely alien to the normal world taps into existential dread, the fear that life itself is just a fragile, arbitrary construct, and that slipping into the unknown is just a glitch away. In summary, the backrooms are scary because they play on multiple layers of human fear: the fear of isolation, the fear of the unknown, the fear of infinite entrapment, and the fear of reality itself breaking down. This combination of psychological horror and existential dread makes the concept of the backrooms a powerful and deeply unsettling setting.